functional fitness workout. So I don't have a theme for us today. We overused pumpkin the last 2 days, so no theme. But we're gonna do 3 rounds of this workout, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest slash transition time. I'm gonna go ahead real quick at the demo. You do not need any equipment, but if you would like to make it a little bit more challenging, feel free to grab a set of dumbbells. You can use them to make things, again, a little bit more challenging, up to y'all. But our first movement here, we're gonna do our quick demos. We're gonna do some overhead squats. I've successfully cut my head off here. Always a game with this camera here. So overhead squats, we're gonna have our hands overhead. So again, if you wanna have a weight, you can do a dumbbell and hold it between your hands, but we're gonna have our arms overhead, feet hip width apart, squatting down, keeping our hands above our head the whole time. So that's going to be our first movement. And then our second movement, we're going to do split squats today. So for this one, we're going to do all on one leg and then all on the other leg. So you'll have one foot in front, the other one behind. So it's essentially just like a lunge position here. We're bringing our back knee towards the ground, front knee over the second toe, pushing off of our front leg. So all of our weight should be in the front leg. If you would like, again, to make it more challenging, feel free. You can hold one dumbbell on the opposite side. So if you're using your left leg, you can hold the dumbbell on your right hand. So like I said, we'll do all on one leg and then all on the other leg here, again, keeping that weight in the front leg. So that's going to be our next 2 movements. And then from here, we're going to get on the ground. We're going to do plank arm raises. I love these for single arm stability. So either hands and knees or hands and toes, whatever is more comfortable for you today. Whoops. Tight space here. So bringing one arm overhead at a time, making sure our core is engaged to prevent our hips from rotating. So that's going to be our 4th movement. And then we're going to finish off with some dead bugs here. So again, if you would like to use dumbbells for a core assist, feel free to grab that. So if you are having dumbbells, you're just going to hold them as you extend one leg at a time, exhaling, coming back in. If you do not have dumbbells, you'll extend opposite arm, opposite leg, and then come back in. So that's going to be our workout for today. So we're going to go ahead and start off with our warm-up. So we can go ahead, stand up. We're going to come to the top of our space here. We're going to start off with the world's greatest stretch. So we're going to interlace our fingers, grab onto one of our knees, pull your knee towards your chest. Nice, big, deep belly breath. And we're going to exhale, step back into our reverse lunge. Back leg staying nice and straight, hands coming down on the inside of our front foot. Breathing nice and deep into our belly is going to help us open up our hips here. And we're going to go ahead and exhale, opening up towards our front leg, looking at our hand, thumb facing behind us. So we're looking at our palm. It's going to help us open up our back a little bit more. And on our next exhale, we're going to go ahead, plant our hand outside of our front foot, bring our back foot a little bit closer and push our hips up into our hamstring stretch. Nice, big, deep breath here. And we're going to exhale, bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and do that same thing on the other side. So interlace our fingers, grabbing onto the other leg. Pull your knee towards your chest. And we're going to exhale, step back, reverse lunge. Hands coming down on the inside of our front foot. Keeping our back leg nice and straight. We're breathing into our belly, really feeling everything expand here, opening up our hips. And we're going to exhale, rotate up towards the front leg, thumb facing behind us, looking at our hand. Breathing into the belly here. And we're going to exhale, plant our hand outside of our front foot, bring our back foot a little bit closer and push our hips up into our hamstring stretch. And on our next exhale, we're going to go ahead and bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. Awesome. All right. Next part of our warm-up here, we're going to go ahead and do some quadruped rocks. So we're gonna make our way on to the ground on our hands and knees, our hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. They can be a little bit wider than hip width. We want our toes pointed back. So we do not want our feet together, toes pointed back. That's gonna help us open up our hips a little bit more. So we're gonna go ahead and do a few rocks here. So we're gonna inhale, rock back, and exhale, come forward. Making sure we're keeping our core engaged. Breathing through our straw, trying to get our glutes as close to our heels as we can. It's going to help us warm up our hips and our core, getting ready for our split squats and our overhead squats here. All right, let's go ahead wherever we're at. We're going to make this next rock back our last one. And once we have finished our last one, we are ready to rock and roll. So starting off with overhead squats. Again, if you want to make it a little bit more challenging for yourself, grabbing a dumbbell if you'd like. I'm going to get the timer going here. 3, 2, 1, and go. So if you do have a dumbbell, I'll just do a free with my dumbbell here. You can hold your dumbbell in between your hands if you'd like, or if you don't have a dumbbell, you can hold whatever you have that's weighted. My arms are way too tired from the last 2 days of all of our push-ups. So I'm going to do a body weight one, but do whatever feels good for you. Always preach this, especially on Fridays. Listen to your body. Do what feels good. We just want to make sure we're doing things with the proper intent. So on this one, we are going to feel it in our shoulders, in our core, and in our quads and glutes. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our split squats. So if you would like, again, if you have a dumbbell, holding it in the opposite leg. Oh, sorry, opposite hand. 3, 2, 1. The opposite hand of the leg that's in front. So if my left leg is in front, I'm holding this in my right leg right now, and my right hand. Goodness, it must be Friday. We're driving our back knee towards the ground. We're pushing through that front heel. We want to feel the movement in our front leg. So primarily, our front glute is going to feel it. We're pushing through our heel, big toe, little toe. We're trying to not push off of our back leg. So our weight shouldn't be evenly distributed. We should have a little bit more of a forward bias here, coming down and back up. There's also balance, making sure our feet are on train tracks, not on a tightrope. 3, 2, 1. All right. I did not intend to do that whole thing with the dumbbell in my hand, but now I need to do it on this side to even myself out. But again, same thing, other leg. 3, 2, 1. So again, one leg in front, opposite hand. Feet are on train tracks. Back leg is coming straight down. So it's straight down. We have our forward bias. We have our chest is over the arch of our front foot. So it's the same form as a squat, as a lunge, anything like that. It's the same form here, same idea, just a different positioning of our feet. Still having our core zipped up nice and tight. Breathing through our straw, pushing through our heel, big toe, little toe of our front foot. Having our forward bias. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, we have plank arm raises next. And you can either do hands and knees or hands and toes, whatever feels good to you today. 3, 2, 1. Regardless of which one we're doing, we want to screw our hands into the ground just like with push-ups. Raising one hand at a time. Exhaling as we raise our hands so that way our core is engaged. Our headlights on our hips are blinding the ground. We're squeezing our shoulder blades together. My shoulder blades are doing something funky, which is why if we screw our hands into the ground, it's going to keep our shoulder blades in place. Great job. I would like all of us to challenge ourselves, at least do one round on our toes. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last up, we have dead bugs. I'm gonna grab my dumbbells. I'm gonna do a core assist here. If you don't have dumbbells, no problem. You can use your arms as well. 3, 2, 1. You can always too, if you don't have dumbbells, you can grab anything weighted that you have around you. You know, have some fun, grab a pumpkin. It's almost Halloween. Have fun there. If I was teaching on Monday, y'all would better believe that I would be dressed up fully in costume. I might wear my costume anyways. If anyone has any guesses of what my costume is, let me know. You won't really win anything, but you'll win the satisfaction of guessing who I am going to dress up as. Great job. Finish strong here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Love dead bugs. We got 1 round down, 2 more to go. We're standing back up for our overhead squats here. 3, 2, 1. So feet hip width, pulling our shoulder blades. So squeeze through our armpits. We also want to make sure we're squeezing our orange in between our shoulder blades, zipping our core up, squatting down, and back up. I like to take these ones a little bit slower because it's really easy to start to really hinge at our hips. We want to make sure we're not doing that. We want to be nice and tall through our torso like a squat. So we're getting into our triple flexion at the bottom, which is 1, 2, 3 flexion there, pushing the ground away versus pushing our hips back. 3, 2, 1. All right. Like I always say, we want the proper intent here. All right, we're going to do our split squats next. So choosing whichever leg you want to start with. I guess I'll still do a dumbbell here. 3, 2, 1. Maybe not. So back leg straight down, our chest again over the arch of our front foot. I don't know where my balance is today. You would think since both feet are on the ground, I would be okay. Great job. Again, we want to feel this in our front leg, but same position, same thing as a lunge, a squat, all of that. It's all the same motion. Great job. 3, 2, 1. All right. Use our rest time, gather ourselves, we're gonna do the same thing on the other leg, and then we're back on the ground, and then we got 1 more round to go. 3, 2, 1. All right. Same thing. If you do again have a dumbbell, holding it in the opposite hand of the leg that's in front. By doing that, so you could hold 2 dumbbells in one hand, or you could do the same side. I personally like when we hold it on the opposite side because it balances out our body since one leg is behind, and it also helps us really focus on using our glutes versus sometimes when we have weight on both sides, we'll use more of the quad. I prefer the glute bias here, so that's why I like to hold it in the opposite side. But do whatever feels good for you, whatever you want to focus on today. 3, 2, 1. I like to focus on the glutes though to help with low back tightness. So, all right, we got plank arm raises next. Hands and knees or hands and toes. 3, 2, 1. So screwing our hands into the ground here. Keeping a nice straight line from our head, shoulders, hips, and knees/toes. Exhaling as we come up. We want our hands to be directly underneath our shoulders. We don't want them too far out. We want them a little bit more narrow. Just like with push-ups, it's the same starting position here. This is great for core work, our anti-rotation, and our single arm stability since I just have one hand and I'm reaching up. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, we got dead bugs last. I feel like it's been a while since I've done dead bugs, but I love them. All right, we're getting ready. 3, 2, 1. So just like I like doing things with the glute bias to help with low back tension, dead bugs are another favorite of mine for our low back tightness slash any weakness there, because this is going to help strengthen our torso. Actually, this is going to strengthen our whole pillar, especially if we do have dumbbells here, shoulders, hips, and torso. This is going to help really strengthen everything to make our daily lives a little bit easier, which is always my goal. Everything starts with the pillar, so I really like to focus on that. Making sure we're strengthening all of it. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right. We got our last round coming up. So we're going to do our overhead squats. Last time doing these. Love-hate relationship with it. 3, 2, 1. It definitely forces us to use our core a little bit more. Also, working on our shoulder stability and our squat form. Last time doing these, ooh, my knees are a little cracky today. That's nice. Pops and cracks are always okay, as long as there's no pain associated with that. If you are feeling pain in any movement that we do, please, please, please let me know. We'll work through it, and it's also good if I know these things so we can avoid them in classes, or so I can have alternatives here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Done with those for today. Next up, we have our split squats. Last round of these 2. Well, it's the last round of everything. 3, 2, 1. All right. So holding your dumbbell on the opposite side, again, gets our glute bias. Generally, this movement is also glute biased, but that's beside the point here. Again, helping us strengthen our core, our low back, all of it. Definitely. Sometimes our low back tightness comes from sitting and lengthening our glutes and our hamstrings, and they pull on each other. So this will help kind of offset that. It's always a good thing to do. Also helps with balance. 3, 2, 1. All right. Done with that leg. Moving to the next leg. Then we're on the ground, and then we'll do a quick cool down, and then we'll do some breathing and relaxation. 3, 2, 1. Going down. Push the ground away with that whole foot. And it is Halloween weekend, so I'm going to give my little spiel here. We are now entering officially the holiday season. Lots of candy, lots of food coming up here the next 2 months. So I will say we need to sometimes mentally take a break, enjoy ourselves. There's a lot of de-stressing that comes with being around people, eating good food, and just getting away from the day-to-day stress of life. But that does not mean that we need to do it all the time. 3, 2, 1, which I think we all know. We're gonna get on the ground. We got plank arm raises next. But if you know you're gonna be going out for a holiday party or something, or having some Halloween candy, 3, 2, 1. Don't change your eating for the whole day. Eat as you normally do. Don't need to starve or restrict ourselves, because then we're going to end up overeating and feeling worse. So stick to your normal day-to-day routine for your first few meals, if it's a dinner, for your breakfast and your dinner, if it's lunch, and so on and so forth. So that's my little tip for today for nutrition, is stick to your normal routine and then have some fun when it comes around. It's the time of year to enjoy it. We need to de-stress from the rest of the year anyways. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last movement coming up, we got our dead bugs. We're gonna be on our backs for the rest of the class. I will fix my camera for the rest of it too, because I don't think I'm not in frame anymore. 3, 2, 1. All right. Making sure 2 on these. I don't think I said it yet. Knees are directly above the hips. When they come in too far, we're gonna start activating our hip flexors. We really want to use our core. And when our knees are further out, it's going to engage the lower part of our core here, which is always good to work on because we need to strengthen the core as a whole. Exhaling as we come up. Great job. My core is tired, but we're doing awesome. We're finishing strong. This is our last movement of the day. 3, 2, 1. That is going to be it for our circuit today. So, like I said, we are going to be cooling down on the ground. So, we're going to go ahead and stay on the ground on our backs. We're going to do some figure 4 for our cool down here. So, on our backs, we're going to go ahead and have both feet on the ground. We're going to take one ankle and bring it over the opposite knee. And if that tension feels good, go ahead and stay there. If you need a little extra tension, go ahead, interlace your fingers, grab either behind your knee or in front of your shin, and pull your knee towards your chest. And this is where we can really start to slow our breath down. So in through the nose, and then exhaling, sighing away the tension through our mouth. The stretch is really good to help open up our glutes, our hips, our piriformis, hamstrings, everything. And especially since we did a lot of squatting today, this is really going to help us really just stretch out and cool down those muscles that we just used, as well as calm our body and mind down right now. And one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, we can gently bring our feet to the ground. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So taking the opposite ankle, crossing it over the other knee. And then let's go ahead and either interlace your fingers behind your leg or in front of your shin, pulling your knee towards your chest. Breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, sighing away your tension. Really let our bodies relax here into the stretch. And one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, when we're ready, we can bring both our feet back to the ground and then go ahead and lay all the way out on your back. And as always, if you would like, you don't have to do this, but I find it helpful to remind ourselves where to breathe. We can put our right hand over our diaphragm, right underneath our ribs here, and then our left hand goes right over our heart. We really want our hand on over our diaphragm to rise either more or before the other hand. And from here, we're going to do just a little bit of box breathing, calm our body down, and to reset and refocus. So we're going to do a 4-second inhale, 4-second hold, 4-second exhale, 4-second hold. So our cadence here, I'll count us out here real quick. We're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. So let's go ahead, try and keep that cadence up. I'm going to be quiet for a little bit. Really let our diaphragm rise. That's going to help us fill our lungs up. And as we exhale, just really feel and picture all of the muscles in your body relax. So we get that nice calming effect with the breathing to calm our body and our minds down. All right. Let's go ahead and do 2 more rounds of our um, box breathing here. And last round. And as we finish our last round, take a second, start to wake your body up, wiggle your fingers and toes, move your head side to side. And when you're ready, we can gently roll over onto our side to return to a seated kneeling or standing position, but that's going to be all the time I have for us today. So thank y'all for joining me. Great job today and this week. And I